about the situation at Astroworld and what had happened with Travis Scott and that entire realm, like that incident, which is extremely tragic.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of becoming a cultural fascination because when these incidents happen, they tend to be landmarks, meaning that this will be remembered for a long time. His career will always have this on its mark, against him in a way. And I'm not 110% sure how I feel about it, which is another reason why this is so interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me because, like, after the whole incident, he continued. That's what bothers people a lot.
And we'll talk about what's interesting about that is like life as a performer from on top of that on stage is a lot different from somebody watching. Now it was egregious what happened, and he has that reputation for being very incendiary with his performances.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating because there isn't really a clear-cut good or bad guy in this situation. What the incident is tragic, but there isn't really like a villain, in my opinion, in this story.
Yeah.
Like I've heard opinions from across the spectrum on what they think about this, but the story here is about him looking to make amends in some way, shape, or form, you could say. And the article here is from Radar. And the article says, Travis Scott rejected by 9-year-old Ezra Blount's family after rapper offers to pay for funeral costs following the Astroworld death. So this is from Whitney Vasquez, and this is from yesterday, November 30th. It says, Travis Scott offers to pay for 9-year-old Ezra Blount's funeral has been denied. Ezra was the youngest victim who died from his injuries after attending Travis Scott's deadly Astroworld Festival in Houston, Texas, earlier this month. The Blount's family, now I'm not sure, by the way, if I'm assuming it's Blount's, but I'm not 110% sure, so I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. The Blount's family attorney shot down the rapper's offer in a scathing letter obtained by Rolling Stone. Quote, your client's offer is declined, Bob Hilliard wrote to Travis Scott's lawyer, Daniel Petrocelli. I have no doubt Mr. Scott feels remorse. His journey ahead will be painful, the letter continued. He must face and hopefully see that he bears some of the responsibility for this tragedy. Ezra was on his father's shoulders at the Astroworld Festival when his dad passed out. The young boy fell on the ground and was trampled on during the chaotic stampede. He suffered cardiac arrest and was taken to the hospital. Ezra experienced, quote, damage to his liver and lungs and had swelling in his brain. That is absolutely tragic.
Yeah.
But it's part of it comes down to responsibility. Like, do we feel that it's Travis Scott's responsibility that this happened?
For his death, I don't think it's his responsibility. Unpopular opinion, I'm sorry, but I don't feel like it's his responsibility because, like, when people are in panic, they don't know what to do. And, like, sometimes, like, especially, like, this kid, he didn't deserve to die that way. That's the worst way to die.
I can't imagine.
Being stepped on constantly to death. That's not Travis Scott's fault. And, like, I love it that he offered to pay, but the family rejected it.
But it feels like guilt, or it feels like legal hedging of, he's trying to make good on with these people before.
Yeah.
And the lawsuits are coming. I think the lawsuits are total over $2 billion now in class action lawsuits. But the question is, does that responsibility fall on Travis Scott? Or does that fall on the hosts of the festival? You know, the company that put this production on.
Because it's kind of weird. Because, like, you remember the tragedy of Ariana Grande's concert where there was a bombing. Is it the same, like, mentality? Is it her fault or the basically the organization of, like, the event company?
Well, if she kept going after the bomb went off, that would be crazy.
Yeah, it would.
And part of that's what the problem that people have with it, right? Is that this was clearly the event had gotten out of hand, but he continued performing despite the fact that it seemed like things had spiraled out of control.
How far back is, like, the shooting that, like,
the Ariana Grande one?
No. I mean, for the Travis Scott one, like, where in the area of the concert was it at? All the way in the back or, like, somewhere in the front?
Well, they rushed the gate at the front.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, and that's was that right? Have you seen that?
Yeah, it was, and he was also encouraging them to, like, mosh pit and like cram forward, and there were.
Then
that's part of his personality. He's known for doing that at his shows. That's very like that's what I'm saying. That's very hard, right? Because his job as an entertainer is to get people emotionally invested in what he's doing. This just happens to be an example of where you're looking to find that emotional that emotional resonance with people. You're pushing them to the brink, which is what music in a lot of ways does. It makes us extremely emotional.
Yeah, that's what rock and roll artists used to do. Like they would cut themselves open or like defecate on stage.
You're not even from that era. You couldn't have been alive when that was going on. They
I know,
doing that
but
in the
you
early
said
2000s.
I'm secretly a Gen Xer.
Yeah, that's not even Gen X. Yeah. You're a Gen Xer at heart. That is true. That is true. I hate starting on this topic because it does bum me out, because the death of anyone is tragic. The death of a 9-year-old boy is extremely tragic, but there's so much uncertainty in this topic because there really isn't a clear cut yes, good or bad.
Yeah. This is why I don't really like talking about topics like that, because like we don't know.
We're making you do it anyways, though.
I know, it's the same. Like I feel like
we're making you.
I know, this is torture. This is my punishment.
Yep, it's what you get for trying to make me talk about what was it you wanted to talk about today? Not Rihanna, the other one. We're not talking about Rihanna.
Nick Jonas and his wife.
I'm not doing it. I refuse.
And then Sandra Bullock.
I refuse to talk about Nick Jonas
and Sandra Bullock.
Did you hear? I
know.
Smashed the table.
Wait, what's wrong? I know, like, because you refuse to talk about it.
Relationship gossip is not going to be a thing.
Well, it's not gossip because she says she made long distance relationships work.
As much as this may seem like it, this is not a tabloid, and we are not at the counter of a convenience store. So I refuse.
Okay.
That is not what I am doing. So.
Okay. Okay.
It's don't make that face at me.
What face?
That's a face.
I don't have a face.
Do you guys think the reason the family said no is because they're involved in the lawsuit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think the lawyers might have said like, don't accept that money because like it's just basically like either hush hush money or like you can get more money if you sue him.
Yep. And what is like is offering to pay for the funeral seen as like an admission of guilt?
Maybe, but like also how you pointed it out, maybe it might be like his lawyer said just do it because like maybe it might lower the blow for the lawsuit. Well,
they're gonna. I mean, if I had Travis Scott's money, I'm not offering to pay for the funeral. I'm offering them a settlement out of court right away.
That would be
that's
smarter.
Callous. That's callous sounding, but I'm just trying to look at it from the actual perspective of the people who put on these events, who work in this industry. Like, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I'm assuming Astroworld, the festival, has insurance.
Yeah, it does. Let me see how much he's worth. What's his net worth?
Like, whatever somebody like that is worth.
He's $60 million. If you,
wow.
He's not gonna. I mean. I think they said that those lawsuits are over $2 billion now, but I don't think that would all come out of his pocket. That would come out of his record label and the festival and everyone else who would be held financially, accountable for that incident, right?
For sure, because like, the money has to come somewhere, and it's not from him fully because he's not one of the richest.
Well, it would be
rappers.
handled by insurance, right?
That's true.
I don't think it would come out of his pocket directly. So
that's true.
You know what else is messed up by all this? I never heard of Travis Scott until this happened.
Really?
So now the publicity for him is crazy.
Yep. It's crazy, but like for me, how I heard of him because like this Canadian singer, he used to be a part of a K-pop group called EXO. His name is Chris Wu, and I was introduced to Travis Scott because of him, and also Kylie Jenner is his baby mama.
There was also like a lot of talk about like, this isn't conspiracy theories, but there's all the stuff about like Illuminati symbols at the concert and stuff. A lot of that's just very common, imagery in that world, like artistic imagery. But people were like, there was crazy conspiracies about how it was like planned and stuff like that. Oh
yeah, I think it was like it looked like a gate to hell. Was the artwork and props that were put on the stage.
Then how come the rapper Lucifer didn't do that? Because he says that he's actually the devil reincarnated.
Lucifer?
Yeah, Lucifer, because if you say his name real quick, it sounds like Lucifer.
Maybe you just thought it was too on the nose.
Oh.
I don't know. There's a little bit more of this because they do go into the numbers here. So it says, the Blount family attorney revealed that they didn't just reject Travis's offer, but that they also denied an in-person meeting with the rapper. We were pretty firm, with all due respect, no. This isn't a photo op story here. This is a who is responsible and why type of investigation. And he is on the short list, Hilliard told Rolling Stone. So even though what he's saying is that this isn't a photo op opportunity, he's telling this to Rolling Stone, which means he's playing the media game too. They're both It's a game of perception. It's a game of your image in the public sphere and how you're going to get, whether you're going to get favorable sympathy from the media or whether the public is going to look at you like you're responsible. So both sides are trying to play to that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. That's it says right down here over 200 lawsuits already.
Oh.
200 lawsuits to the tune of $2 billion.
Dang, it already went over his net worth.
Way over his net worth. So, man, I don't know.
How do you think how live concerts are going to be like now? Because we already had 2 incidents, the Ariana Grande concert and now Travis Scott.
Yeah.
How do you think concerts are going to look like in the future?
I don't think they'll change.
I don't think that's such that's an industry that's almost unmovable, right? Because what do you do? Like, how do you change that?
People have already forgotten about Ariana Grande's concert.
Yep.
And this is like fading out.
I didn't remember it until you brought it up.
Well, I brought it up because like a lot of people said this is a terrorist act. Like legit, they planned it out.
Yep.
And like all of a sudden it disappeared from the tabloids because nobody cared anymore.
When the media remember earlier what I said about like having like a clear good guy and bad guy. The media loves, very black and white labels that have very clear heroes and villains that they can paint in a certain way. And I think the lack of that in those situations makes it less appetizing for them to focus on.
That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that is a really sad story, but I think we should follow it more. Like as it goes on, I don't want to let it just go, die from the public sphere. So we should keep going.
Track of it, like here and there.
We
keep tabs.
We will keep track of it. So.